This is Johan Cruyff, the man who over 50 years ago has revolutionized football we see today. With his innovative playing style and visionary understanding of the game, he became one of the most influential figures in history, winning almost everything in football. On one hand, this is the story of an incredibly intelligent man who introduced the concept of total football, a revolutionary idea based on fluid position changes among players. As both a player and coach at Barcelona, Cruyff laid the foundation for a style of play centered around technique, ball possession, and high pressing, which later became the cornerstone of modern tiki-taka. His philosophy reshaped football as a whole, inspiring coaches like Pep Guardiola and transforming the way teams build their game. But on the other hand, this is the story of the man who built his greatness through endless argument and controversy. When the defender from the opposing team was too good, he beat him up. When Barcelona's coach benched him, he demanded the coach be fired. When the Dutch Federation signed a contract with Adidas, he said he wouldn't play. This is the crazy story of Johan Cruyff. The wild beginnings at Ajax. Johan Cruyff was born in 1947 in the suburbs of Amsterdam. His childhood was far from easy. At the age of 12, his father passed away from a heart attack. As a result, the Dutchman had to help his mother maintain the household and took care of the Ajax Stadium's pitch, a club he had been connected with since the age of 10. Johan often played football with older friends. During that time, he learned how to use tactical sense and dribbling over physical strength, which became his signature in the future. Scouts quickly recognized his talent, and Cruyff made his debut for Ajax's senior team in 1964. He immediately emerged as a top-tier star and a cornerstone of the team. His early dribbling training paid off. He was unstoppable. Wim Schuurbier, Johan's teammate from Ajax Amsterdam, when asked about the young player's talent, responded, "If you followed the movements of his body instead of the ball, you were already defeated." Such phenomenal performances resulted in a call-up to the Dutch national team. As you might expect, he also gave reasons to remember him there. In his second match for Oranje, frustrated by successful interventions, he lunged at the Czechoslovak player Jan Popluhar. As a result, he received a red card and a one-year suspension from international competition. Interestingly, Johan was the first Dutch national team player to ever receive a red card. His statistics shocked all the experts. During his first stint at Ajax, he was the Eredivisie top scorer twice and the top scorer in the Dutch Cup 5 times. With the club, he won 6 national championships, to which he added another 2 after his return, and most importantly, 3 consecutive Champions League titles as the pillar of the Amsterdam team. Year after year, Ajax triumphed in the finals, beating Panathinaikos, Inter, and Juventus. During this time, Cruyff began wearing the number 14, which initially wasn't well received by fans. However, it soon became synonymous with him, and Ajax retired the number in his honor. Cruyff wore it throughout his career, and during the 1974 World Cup, he was the only player allowed to choose his own number. We will return to the controversies surrounding this tournament later. The Dutchman's exceptional skills and achievements were recognized by experts from around the world, awarding him the Ballon d'Or in 1971, 1973, and 1974. The Dutchman's style of play was based on a deep understanding of space on the pitch. It was a kind of football architecture, where the key was not only where the ball was, but also where it should be to exploit open space and time. Cruyff emphasized that his team must constantly think about where to run, where to stand, and also where not to move, in order to create space for themselves and other players. A crucial element was quick ball movement and recognizing players who had the most time and space, allowing for more efficient playmaking. Each player needed to understand the geometry of the pitch and be aware of the movement and positioning of their teammates, which created a system known as total football, which we will discuss more in detail later. The smartest mind on the pitch, FC Barcelona. After years of ruling the Ajax locker room with an iron will, the Dutchman found himself at a crossroads. In August 1973, after his teammates secretly voted Piet Keizer as captain, it was clear to Cruyff that his reign in Amsterdam was over. But this was far from the end. Just weeks later, he would make a move that would change the course of football history forever. He joined Barcelona, turning down the lure of Real Madrid. When asked why, Cruyff's answer was bold and unflinching.
I could never play for a club associated with a dictator.
It was the start of a fiery love affair with the Catalan club. And for a then record €1.9 million, Barcelona had secured the most sought-after footballer in the world. Cruyff wasted no time in leaving his mark. In his first 26 games, Barca remained unbeaten and claimed their first La Liga title in 14 years. But it wasn't just his skill that lit up the pitch. He became the leader the team had desperately needed. Barcelona, a club desperate for revival, found in Johan the perfect icon to lead their resurgence. Fans hailed him as El Salvador. Yet Cruyff's genius was matched only by his fiery temperament. His clashes with authority became part of his legend. In one unforgettable incident against Malaga, after receiving a red card, he refused to leave the pitch, needing to be physically removed. But the most dramatic battle was within his own team. When his mentor and Barca's coach Rinus Michels left the club, the strict disciplinarian Hennes Weisweiler took over. He and Johan immediately clashed, with the coach even benching the superstar. In typical Cruyff fashion, he delivered an ultimatum. It was either him or Weisweiler. Barcelona's choice was clear. Weisweiler was shown the door. Cruyff was simply too important for the team. While his individual brilliance was undeniable, Cruyff's time at Barca was bittersweet. The club's trophy cabinet didn't fill up as expected, and off the pitch, he faced financial troubles that nearly bankrupted him. Betrayed by a business partner, the financial strain became unbearable, and in 1978, Cruyff's Barcelona chapter came to a close. In 180 matches, he scored 60 goals and delivered 24 assists. But his legacy went far beyond numbers. Cruyff transformed the club, the city, and the way football was played in Spain. His time in Barcelona might have been turbulent, but it laid the groundwork for a philosophy that still defines Barca today. And yet, Johan hasn't said his last word. In the future, he will return here as a coach, but more on that later. The most savage captain of all time. Johan Cruyff's impact extended far beyond club football. On the international stage, he was equally mesmerizing. Remarkably, the Dutch national team never lost a match when Cruyff found the back of the net. And with the iconic number 14 on his back, he defied tradition, sparking a global trend of players choosing numbers outside the classic 1 to 11. The pinnacle of Cruyff's international career came in the 1974 World Cup, held in West Germany. The Netherlands, guided by the genius forward, reached the final. The world held its breath, expecting the Oranje to claim the trophy. But in a shocking twist, it was the hosts, West Germany, who triumphed. The dream had slipped away. That World Cup finals has another story, the story only Cruyff could have written. The official kit supplier for the Netherlands national team was Adidas, but Johan had his own deal with Puma. Refusing to promote Adidas, he issued an ultimatum: I won't play. The Dutch Federation and Adidas reached an agreement under which a special shirt was made for Cruyff, featuring only 2 stripes, allowing him to avoid promoting Adidas by wearing the brand's signature 3 stripes. No one else, aside from Cruyff, could have ever pulled off such a move. But fortune didn't favor Johan when it came to World Cups. 4 years later, in Argentina, the Dutch team prepared for another attempt at glory. Yet Cruyff was nowhere to be found. For years, rumors swirled, until 2008, when the shocking truth emerged. The striker revealed that he and his family were the target of a kidnap attempt in Barcelona a year before the tournament, which led to his decision to retire at 31, about which a little later. You should know that I had problems towards the end of my career in Barcelona. I don't know if you're aware, but someone held a gun to my head, tied me and my wife up in front of our children in our apartment in Barcelona. Considered one of the greatest players in history and the best Dutch footballer of all time, throughout his career, Cruyff became synonymous with the total football playing style. He was a dribbling genius, had exceptional vision on the pitch, and was adored by fans. In one interview, he said of himself, I think I was the most complete footballer in the world. As the conductor of the team, Cruyff was a creative playmaker, with an innate ability to time his passes perfectly. Nominally playing as a center forward in this system, and being an effective goal scorer, he would drop deep to deceive defenders or move out to the wing, often with great effect. This role has been retrospectively compared to the false 9 position in modern football. The final dance, Ajax versus Feyenoord. 1978 shocked the football world. Johan Cruyff, one of the sport's greatest, abruptly announced his retirement. Fans were left in disbelief, but behind closed doors, Cruyff's life had taken an unexpected turn. Poor investments had drained his fortune, forcing a drastic decision. A lucrative offer from the Los Angeles Aztecs brought him back into the game, far from the glory of Europe, but with a fresh start in sight. He wasn't ready to disappear just yet.
I thought I could leave football at 31. It was a mistake. My talent, my ambition, there was still so much more to give. America wasn't just a second chance, it was a reinvention. I learned to see the game differently, to think like a coach.
After 3 years playing in North American Soccer League, Cruyff returned to Europe and played a brief stint with Levante. However, injuries and conflicts with the club's management cut his time there short. He made only 10 appearances, scoring 2 goals, but failed to secure promotion to the Primera Division, which led to the termination of his contract. In the 1981 to 1982 season, Johan returned to his roots, Ajax Amsterdam. It was there that his path crossed with a young Marco van Basten, who would later speak of Cruyff with great reverence. His second spell with the club lasted 2 years and brought 2 Dutch championships. Despite his success, Ajax's president at the time, Tom Harmsen, saw only his age. At 36, they told him he was finished. Unable to tolerate such disrespect, Johan left Ajax for their arch rivals, Feyenoord Rotterdam. The club probably needed Cruyff more than Cruyff needed them. His transfer revitalized the team, leading them to win the league championship for the first time in 9 years, along with the Dutch Cup. It was a stunning riposte from Cruyff towards Ajax, who had cut him adrift just 12 months earlier after having helped them to the very same league and cup double. Johan was crucial in this success, and after the season, he retired from professional football. Across all club competitions, El Salvador played 567 matches, scoring 322 goals and providing 221 assists. He received 31 yellow cards and 3 reds, more than expected from an attacking player. Most of those, unsurprisingly, came during his fiery days at FC Barcelona. The visionary coach who has changed football. Johan loved football, which is why he quickly transitioned into coaching. In 1984, he started working at Ajax, first as Leo Beenhakker's assistant, and a year later, he took charge of the team as head coach. There that he helped shape the footballing careers of players like Dennis Bergkamp and Marco van Basten, who years later highlighted the tactical genius of their coach and his belief that football requires thinking on the pitch, not just relying on instinct. The Dutchman's training methods were a continuation of his footballing philosophy from his playing days. He was a proponent of total football and a distinctive stylistic approach to the game. It wasn't just about winning for him, but the manner in which the victory was achieved. He used to say,
"Victory is only for one day, but reputation lasts a lifetime. Winning is important, but you must have your own unique style so that others will emulate and admire you. That is the greatest reward."
After his time in Amsterdam, Johan moved to his beloved FC Barcelona, where he celebrated his greatest triumphs as a coach. From the start, he introduced an ultra-offensive style of play and actively involved young players. It was Johan Cruyff who helped shape the careers of stars like Hristo Stoichkov, Michael Laudrup, Pep Guardiola, and later, Romario. However, the greatest success and the crown jewel of Cruyff's career was Barcelona's first ever European Cup victory, which came in the 1991-1992 season. This triumph cemented Cruyff's godlike status, and he was adored by the culés. Real Madrid fans finally lost their argument to mock them. Johan often favored technical players with good movement over more physical ones, and would sometimes use players in unconventional roles. For example, he positioned Pep Guardiola as a defensive midfielder, serving as a deep-lying playmaker who dictated the tempo of the game and would sometimes drop even further back to support the defense. Michael Laudrup, thanks to his mobility and excellent positioning, played as a free-roaming forward, frequently dropping back into midfield, which confused defenders and created space for attacking players such as Stoichkov. This tiki-taka style of play helped Spain win the European Championships in 2008 and 2012, as well as the World Cup in 2010. Apart from his football genius, Johan was known for arguments on the pitch and his fondness for cigarettes, of which he could smoke up to 20 a day. He smoked everywhere until 1991, when he noticed he had heart problems. That same year, Cruyff underwent surgery, quit smoking, and became an active advocate for a healthy lifestyle. As part of an anti-smoking campaign, the Dutchman appeared in an advert where he juggled a packet of cigarettes, saying,
"Football has given me everything in life, but smoking almost took my life away."
In 1996, after 8 years together, Cruyff left FC Barcelona. It is said that after ending his coaching career, he still had a significant influence on what was happening in the club, which did not sit well with the supporters. Since then, with the exception of 4 matches as the coach of the Catalonian national team, Cruyff never again took a seat on the bench of any team as a coach. On 24th of March 2016, at the age of 68, Johan Cruyff passed away due to lung cancer. Johan Cruyff left an indelible mark on European football. In his autobiography, he mentioned 14 principles that he considered most important in football. Among them were respect, initiative, development, learning, creativity, and teamwork. The Dutchman often spoke about the great importance of respect on the pitch, which contrasts with his sometimes aggressive and self-centered behavior. He was a huge fan of the game and often said that he owed it everything and couldn't live without it. He was one of the greatest players and managers in history, considered by many to be football's greatest tactician. A lot of the players he coached are now working as managers, with Pep Guardiola leading the way. Cruyff lived for football, and football gave him the most beautiful rewards: success, fame, and money, although he never chased wealth. He wasn't a flawless figure, but those who knew him always highlight his willingness to help, his relentless determination, and his almost obsessive drive to achieve his goals. He contributed a lot to football, and his legacy will be remembered forever.